Okay, so for my ESOL strategy, what I did is actually use a strategy that I had previously used on the lesson plan we had to create. And what I did is actually went to Scholastic and did some research, and this is a great website to use, especially for teachers. You can find a lot of different lesson plans, not just for ESOL learners, but also for different other types of strategies as well to use in education. So this is the website I'm on. I went to Scholastic and I searched just for different types of ESOL strategies, and this right here popped up. And the cool thing about it is it gives you 10 total strategies, 5 for elementary and 5 for secondary. So it's pretty cool because it gives you, if you're a 2nd grade teacher or an 11th grade teacher, it doesn't matter. It can cover both those areas. So it's definitely a website I recommend using, and it's a cool article to pull some strategies from because it does focus through the entire educational curriculum. So going through here, the strategy that I decided to use was actually down here. It was the first strategy, and it was to pre-teach. And this one focused more towards the secondary grades, so 6th through 12th. And the strategy was the pre-teach or provide background information. And what it is, it's actually pretty simple to use, but it really wants to use the visuals. And so I'll just give you a quick example of what it looks like when you use it. I'll go right here, and this right here, let's just say if I was doing a lesson on the Civil War, and let's say if I was doing causes. One of the things we need to do is to give background information or pre-teach the subject. So if I'm talking about Civil War causes, so the main cause of the Civil War, I wouldn't just go in and say, okay, here are the causes and here are the notes, and just start giving them facts about it. What I would do is find the background information. So I would show them just right here, map of the United States. And look at the map, I would just have them, okay, first off, show me which states, or which are the different sections of the United States. Now, of course, these are color coordinated, but I want them to go ahead and actually get just a visual representation of, like, this is the South, this is the northern states, the northeast states, the northern states here. You have a bunch of different territories over here, and then you have the West territories. So just looking at the visual representation of it, the kids can kind of get a see for what we're dealing with and what we're looking at. I would also then tell them to break up the sections into which ones had slavery and which one didn't, for what they know. And I would actually tell them, like, listen guys, like down here, here's your Mason-Dixon line. All the states down here are going to be the ones that's going to have slavery. I wouldn't explain the Bleeding Kansas Act yet. I would just show them which one had slavery and which one didn't. That way they can kind of get another visual representation of what's going on. And then I'll actually show them the political ideologies that each section had. So I'll show how the South at the time was mostly Democratic. Sounds weird to say now. I would show them how the North was mostly Republican at the time, and along with the Western states were more Republican as well. And then from that point, after I kind of give them a general idea of what we're working with, I could then go on to teach the causes. And just to give you an example, because now they have that background information just by looking at a map, I would show them, like, okay, the first cause of the United States was westward expansion. So, and I would explain how we're going westward, we're going this way. We're trying to occupy these territories. The problem is when we occupy them, we have to decide if it's going to be a free state or a slave state. So the kids can kind of see, okay, well, I understand that because we saw how the map was broken up, and each state has to be either a slave state or a free state. So that kind of goes back to the sections of the United States, whether they were slavery or not. I would give them the other reason, which would be sectionalism, and of course that I would explain how that means, this side of the country or this part of the country, this section of the country had traditional values that were different from this side. And they can also put that together. Okay, different sections, sectionalism. It's all about kind of visually seeing what you're working with. That way, because if they are struggling with English comprehension, it's a little bit easier to see something and then understand it than just giving them a bunch of reading activities and then telling them, okay, were going to hit the ground running and just explain to me the 4 causes without any background information, it'd be kind of hard for them to do. So this is just my general, one of the things that I use in strategies to help ESOL students. This website does have a lot of other good strategies as well, but for me as a history teacher, I really recommend using the background information, just because that's one thing that I need to do more of, just so students are 100% on board and understand what we're doing. Another one, just to show you that it was really well as well, was the table talks. Share and pair was a big one, and also graphic organizers. Again, I've really noticed how it's all about being visual, being able to actually visually see something, and then also share with a partner so you can kind of get other perspectives. That way, it helps the ESOL students understand the concept a little bit more. So this was my presentation over my ESOL strategy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me.